And I found this out by when I woke up, I scrolled over to my trending tab and saw Todd Howard was trending, and I'm like, why on God's green is Todd Howard trending? And what saw was a moment described
You
where
finally?
he was basically saying that when he got a lifetime achievement award, that he said a joke that was like, "I wonder how many achievement points that's worth," and then off
Aha.
stage, Microsoft was like, "Hey, we'll have to look into that for you," and then later they uploaded a game, like it's not a game, but like an actual like game placeholder that was private to only his account, and it listed life, and it had 1,000 achievement points. And so he was like, "Oh, that's a good stuff. That's a good time." And I'm like, "That's a little wholesome story from Todd Howard. What's the point of this?" And
Yeah. It's a
immediately
fucking
underneath,
dumbass story that goes nowhere, Todd.
and it's like, "Well, no, it goes somewhere because uh, the entirety of Bethesda has been acquired by Microsoft."
It's actually even bigger than that. It's like ZeniMax. It's like their parent company. Like
So, so,
Microsoft ate the whole plate.
so, uh, all right. Now, didn't this or something very similar happen the last time Microsoft was about to jump generations? Didn't they
Yeah, they
make
bought Obsidian.
right? So this is the move then, right? It's a it's not just an acquisition, but it's a PR timed thing that says
Yeah.
going into this next gen, we have bought a studio whose games you want to play, so we're going to have that. It's a
Yeah, it's
PR
ours now.
buy. Yeah. Did they do it a third time prior to this?
I don't know about that.
But I definitely
Um,
remember that happening on Xbone.
I I'm gonna put on my speculation hat, and I will clarify what parts are speculation and not. Um, I
Rare.
have it on.
Rare. They
Oh yeah, it
fucking
was rare.
bought
It
Rare
totally
for the
was rare. You're
360,
super right.
dude. Rare. They do it every time. They wait for the turnaround and they make a big buy that's going to get people like, "Oh fuck. This is where we go now." Yeah. They do it every time. Rare, fucking Obsidian, and now Bethesda. It's a pattern. Totally. It's
That's nuts. That what
it's the
they
equivalent of an October surprise,
dude, they
you
would have
know?
bought Sega before the Xbox launch if they had the money, if they had the will to do it at the time.
Well,
Um,
I mean, there's maybes and
mhm.
maybe nots. Depends on how Sega feels about it.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm going with on this. So the Bethesda or ZeniMax board of directors has been told to me verbatim as a bunch of piece of shit scumbag venture capitalists um, by a friend of mine who works at Bethesda,
Okay.
and that they are the reason that the engine never gets updated.
Nice.
Straight up, every single year, the talk goes up to the board and is, please, we need money to build technology for a new engine. People are quitting. People are quitting because they don't want to work on this fucking engine. It's bad for their CV. It's bad for their resume. Please. There's only one guy working on technology on the Bethesda team right now. You know that? There's one. Or rather, that was a year ago. So a year ago, there was only one. And they go, yeah, but the games still sell, so fuck you.
Hmm.
You don't need your new engine, right? It's the same thing that happened to Telltale, right? Just and then like I believe it was like last it was quite recent that one of the people on that board of directors, one Robert Trump, passed away. and then all of a sudden this deal goes through, which makes me
Interesting.
think that that was a foot in the door.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the foot in the door literally died.
So they're kind of. I mean, they didn't they. Yeah, like it's the game. It's the gaming wing is one part of this. Otherwise, like we don't give a fuck about any of that major corp, and now they get a little bit more inch by inch. It's interesting because
And
I'm
I just
wondering.
want to add one more,
Yeah.
which is Save to Click just posted an article saying that Bethesda has come out to say that the engine has had its first total overhaul since Oblivion.
Wait, Trump's brother that passed away the other day. It's the same guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, okay, I didn't know. Interesting. Huh.
And so it's like Microsoft buys them and management changes, and all of a sudden, okay, fine, there's money for an engine. I would not imagine, with the history of Microsoft releases, with the Master Chief Collection notwithstanding, that they would let Bethesda games come out the door the way they have been lately.
Well, here's what I assume this means. I assume this means that your Elder Scrolls, your Doom, and your Dishonored are now locked in.
Oh, they had a picture that was like all the games that like are covered by this. It's a bunch. Those are the big
Wolfenstein,
ones. The Prey, if they
Prey.
ever make more of those.
Fallout.
Oh, who even cares?
Well,
Except now that Bethesda and Obsidian are now sister studios.
Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo.
Did you see the Obsidian tweet in relation to this?
No.
It was actually really funny. It was somebody added Obsidian asking them if Fallout New Vegas could happen now, and Obsidian just posted like an ASCII emote of a guy shrugging with his hands out with a smiley face.
Everything Star Trek related.
Oh, they have the Star Trek license?
Apparently so.
Huh.
Wayne Gretzky's hockey. Well, now watch out.
They've also pointed out that all the Bethesda games will be coming to Game Pass on the day of their launch. Which means that for PC owners, that Bethesda games are maybe free now.
Game Pass is really sticking
I don't
around
know
and doing it.
how they're making money on that.
It just gives you games
For free.
It just here's games like fucking what? It's gotta. I mean, it's gotta be like PS Plus in its scheme, where like they're buying a certain amount preemptively on behalf of everyone who owns a pass that will buy it, and then they get a discounted rate. Because
everyone I know pays $1 a month for it.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe it's at a loss, but it's worth.
Oh, they kicked it up to $10 just now.
Oh, okay.
That's still really cheap.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, again, we talked about the Netflix of games idea, and some have tried, and I feel like Game Pass in the background has kind of continued to still be the closest thing to that working. You know, not to mention that you get it on both platforms.
Yeah, that's actually
the wildest part of it is you get it on your computer as well. But yeah, Prey and everything that franchise is doing. Deathloop. What was Deathloop again? Oh wait.
It's supposed to be a PS4 game?
That's
PS5
yeah. I remember the trailer for that now. Yeah, the one where it was kind of like 70s Jackie Brown colors. Right. Huh. Okay. That is all Xbone.
No, it's not the Xbone anymore, Wooly.
Excuse me.
It's the
X series, whatever.
It's the sex. It's the sex box.
The acquisition.
Oh my god, it is the sex box, isn't it?
The
The
acquisition
Series X.
was for $7.5 billion.
Is that a lot of money?
That's a lot of money.
I can't even tell when it comes to these companies.
It's a lot of money. Companies have been sold for not $1 billion.
It's true. Because Microsoft has a lot of money. If they wanted to, they could buy up like half the industry.
Well, speaking of that, in the last 2 years, if you want to, there's a reminder of who they did buy. They got Obsidian, they got Compulsion, they got Double Fine, The Initiative, In Exile, Ninja Theory, Playground, and Undead Labs.
I feel like most of those companies haven't put out games recently, and I assume they're building stuff for the sex box.
Double Fine always has stuff out that I didn't know was them.
Double Fine loves to waste money too, so good on Microsoft.
Will there'll be a game that I've been hearing about forever, and I'll boot it up the first time and be like, "Wait, what?" And I'll see their logo on it. But yeah, they announced all that Psychonaut stuff though, so they're that's coming. Yeah. This is your turn of the generation regular
Acquisition period.
patterned acquisition. Totally.
I would love I am so excited to possibly play a fucking Elder Scrolls game that went through like Microsoft polishing processes. Like the period where they say it's good to ship and then Microsoft goes, no, it's not. Assuming that still happens.
If there was anyone out there that was perhaps planning on, anyone that cares about, let's say, like Doom, that was planning on dodging the XX, well, now that choice is kind of taken away from you.
Yeah, if you're on the console, yeah. Well, maybe not. Wait, hold on. Microsoft owns Obsidian, right? When did that happen?
It says within the last 2 years, but wasn't it further than that?
Okay, that was November 10th of 2018.
It was exactly 2 years ago.
Outer Worlds came out on the PlayStation 4 in June of 2020. So, actually, no. Those games could still come out on the PS4. They just might come with the Microsoft Studios logo in them.
Fuck that, by the way. Whenever that happens, it's one thing.
I'm sorry, it was June of 2019, I think.
Okay. Well then, let's just. That seems
hold on.
Beyond absurd. Like I talked about last week how I'm like, Doom 64 is already like
2019.
64 is just a number, but we're just gonna pretend we don't know what that number means. You know, when you boot this up on the wrong console, technically. But yeah, it's getting weird.
Todd Howard is apparently quoted at saying they'll still be releasing their games multi-platform.
Really? What?
What is the point of buying the company?
Why? What did you give them $7 billion for? No, wait. What?
Phil Spencer.
That's correct. Okay. That's insane. That's madness. That's a lie.
Phil Spencer tells Dina Bass that the Xbox plans to honor the PS5 exclusivity commitments for Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo.
Fine.
So,
Yes.
Microsoft is going to publish some exclusive PS5 games.
Fine. Their logo will probably not be on it because those things were in progress already. But it's just those projects. It makes
Pete
no
Hines
fucking
talks
sense.
about how Bethesda will still be publishing their games, not Microsoft.
Okay.
Todd Howard also indicated that the developer will potentially continue to bring its games to other platforms too. Quote, "We share a deep belief in the fundamental power of games, their ability to connect, blah, 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 and a belief that we should bring that to everyone, regardless of who you are, where you live, or what you play on."
I just got hit.
Of your... Like, what is...
I just got hit with the weirdest feeling where I felt bad for Microsoft if they paid $7.5 billion and they didn't get exclusivity, which I don't like. But like, I felt bad. Like, wait, no, why? What did you pay for?
So what they paid for is they want the profits off Elder Scrolls and Starfield and whatnot. But it's still like, I guess it seems to be.
What is this
that
NTR
Microsoft
acquisition?
that they think they can make more money
What is
off
this
of
acquisition?
the margins on those games than they can over selling more Xboxes.
Perhaps the numbers actually work out in that favor, that they'll get paid enough on the maybe. But
so I want the ultimate nightmare, which is Xbox Game Pass coming to PS5. And you go into your PlayStation and you load up the Xbox app.
So, of all the companies that are super on board for that, of course Microsoft would be. They'd be very on board for having their store be anywhere at all times. You know, I think they've stated as such too. Didn't they actually have a statement where Phil Spencer came out like some time ago and said like, we want to have, it's the same time they talked about the whole shared platform information thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where there was a whole like, we want to work with other competitors together, and there was a whole thing about that, you know. So we know they're on board for that ridiculous scenario that makes no sense, but yeah, that's so weird. But like, no, I'm guessing it's exactly what you said. Like, it's gonna be about the profits, and they'll make some stuff, but let's be real, like most of what they make and things that people care about are going to wind up being exclusive. This is the only way to make that money make sense.
I want Deathloop to have a Microsoft logo on its title screen because you can't play it on an Xbox. I want it to have an Xbox logo on the title screen on the game you can't play on an Xbox. Like, I want this to get as weird and as confusing as possible.
At the month before the game launches, they officially roll out a branding change that turns the Xbox publisher logo into a big ad for the console. It's a big picture of the X series, and then like a baseball happening and a crowd cheering, and then Forza, and then a million other little things all happening, and Xbox. Whoa! Just get that in at the last second.
So weird.
With a website.
So baffling.
Xbox.com. Jump in. The all-in-one.
I eagerly await some... So, it's weird. I have suddenly turned around my opinion of my excitement towards Bethesda games. Bethesda developed games, that is. Because the last batch have been a fucking mess, right? But that has been a management issue. The dev team has been screaming up against technical and budget and time limitations that management just never gave them a single shit about. Now with new management, maybe we could see those games get good again. Wouldn't that be nice?
I mean, is there any sign that's going to happen, or they're just going to let shit go the way it is?
the fact that they're even talking about overhauling the engine is a big move.
Huh. Well,
You remember what they? You remember this? Yeah, maybe, or unless that's a lie, because they said that Fallout 76 had a big overhaul in the engine too.
now who's wishful thinking? It is you.
I'd like to play a good Bethesda game again.
You
That
are
Skyrim was
the
all right.
wishful thinker. Now it is your turn.
You know what? I'll find out whether or not to be depressed soon enough. So everyone, pay attention to how excited I am for the coming Bethesda games. I know nothing right now and am excited.
So, yeah, if this really is the open relationship that he says it is, then congratulations to God Howard. This was a God Howard move, and the Todd Howard move has been defeated. It goes one way or the other. This was a God Howard move.
I don't like Todd Howard.
Yeah, but would you leave Jaren to him?
No.
Yeah, you would.
No, what? No, I wouldn't. What do you mean? Yeah, you would. What